What is up? It's Justin Khanna. I know it's been a minute. I miss you folks. I'm actually getting ahead on a lot of the videos right now. That's why we haven't seen each other in a minute. Because, little known fact, I haven't teased it in a little while. I actually leave for Japan on Monday, so I'm trying to account for more time on the road. It's crazy. And because I've been editing some of these podcasts that I've had in the pipeline, I'm ahead to the point where I'm like working on getting episode 95 published. And as I was editing that, I was like, 95. That's getting close to 100, holy shit. And so after like a little bit of inspiration from another creator that I follow and I support, his name's Matt Diavella, he has a really great podcast called The Ground Up Show. He just had his episode 100, and he had a really creative way that he kind of did his episode 100, and I kind of want to take a little bit of inspiration from that. So I want to make episode 100 of the Emulsion podcast Emulsion Takeover. Hashtag Emulsion Takeover. But more on that in a second. I'm gonna make the first half of that episode kind of an anthology, a look back at the first 100 episodes of the podcast. Things that I learned, like some of the cringy episodes from like way early in the beginning, some of my favorite interviews, some of my favorite news stories that I covered, and I think we will all just have a laugh here together. I'll probably be drinking some champagne, I'll have Joe here doing some video stuff, mostly so that I'm not drinking champagne alone. But then, which is really exciting and something that I want to share with you, it's going to turn into your episode. So I've got two options for you to help make that happen. And the first option is to leave me a voice message on Anchor. Now, the funny thing about Anchor is that I was on it way towards the beginning before they got, did they get acquired? Before they changed to what they're calling the new Anchor. So I have a really old Anchor account. I'm not 100% sure how to sign into it, but they now give you options to like the cliche sign in through Facebook, sign in through Twitter. So I did that a couple times to try to see if I could access the account, and what ended up happening was I just created multiple accounts under either Justin Khanna or the Emulsion. So it's very important that if you're gonna submit stuff, you only use the Anchor link that's linked below this video. That's the correct one, that's the one that I'm gonna be checking, and I also have like a pre-recorded little message for you on that app as well. I don't really want you to follow me because I'm not really like, I'm not gonna post that often. It's just as far as collecting voice messages and like collecting audio clips, Anchor is kind of like the cleanest way to do so. So that's why I want to use that to hear from you. So back to the point, you need to download Anchor. It works on iOS and Android. I've got like a screen share playing somewhere over here to show you exactly how it is that you access that. You go to my account, there's going to be a button that says voice message. I need to click that and then hit pause for a second because I know that not everybody is tech savvy. Not everybody likes to hear their voice be heard, and not everybody wants me to be publishing their voice. So I got another option. If you go to my website, there's a red button. It says contact on it. If you click that and you make the subject Emulsion Takeover, that's how I will know exactly how to filter through all the incoming messages that I have to select them for the podcast, and you can just type your response there. Okay, that's all the preparation required. So if you want to be included in episode 100, you're in one of two camps now. You're in Anchor camp or you're in website email camp. So now I'm going to set up a mic like I normally do, limit myself to like 45 or 60 minutes with Joe behind the camera. He'll be able to feed me the audio clips or play them so at least I can hear them. And it's going to be kind of a first come, first serve thing. The faster you get your stuff in, the more likely you are to be on the show. So you should get on that ASAP. And you can probably see where this is going. There are no rules. I want to make the Emulsion your podcast. You can tell me a funny story about what happened at work last week. You can pitch me your food truck idea. You can ask me a question, although I maybe would advise against that because I feel like I give enough opportunities to ask me questions here on this channel. You can sing me a song. Maybe you own a modern Peruvian restaurant in Austin, Texas, and you're hiring a fish butcher and you want me to tell the audience that you're hiring. You can tell me about this dish that you served last week and your great aunt came in to eat, and when you served it to her, it made her cry and you're super proud of it. I mean it. There are no rules. And of course, don't get it twisted. We're gonna review all the clips before we play them. I feel like you know those rules, but yeah, Anchor comes first. If we get through that, I will go into the email responses. I'll say whatever you want to say. I'll give you a shout out if you decide to include your name. I basically just want this episode of the Emulsion podcast to be your episode. It's my way to say thanks to you for listening to the show, for following along. It freaking took 2 years to hit 100 episodes, and unless I get into some crazy Joe Rogan level cadence of uploading, it's gonna take another 2 years to get to another 100 episodes. So if you want to get your chance to be on the Emulsion podcast, now's the time. You best be taking advantage, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I guess I can also share while I'm here something that I did today, another fun update. I refreshed all the tiers on Patreon. So there are 4 tiers to Patreon now. They start at $4, going all the way to $50. The benefits are much more kind of intersprinkled, so that it's not like mentor tier gets all the benefits and then the other 2 tiers don't really get any benefits. There's benefits to every single tier, and I think that was a little bit more fair. I have someone that I'm having here helping out with video, and I want to make sure that he gets paid, and so that money goes to him as well. I opened up a couple more slots on the mentor tier as well, especially with my trip to Japan coming up. There might be some things coming back from there that's going to be included in the gear boxes, so hopefully everybody that wanted to get signed up for that got their spot. But the TLDR is basically custom pledges are still 100% available. If you just want to do $1 per month, that's still totally possible, and thank you for that. As far as benefits go, it's like shout out on the Emulsion podcast. I'm going to start doing monthly live streams around specific topics to a certain tier, and everybody that's in that is basically going to get like my perspective on a topic as kind of like a mini workshop, and then it's also going to turn into like a group coaching session. So you can share your thoughts on whatever topic we've decided, and then you can directly ask your questions because I will be there live. I'm including a couple of custom video messages from me on some of those tiers, and then also with having someone here to help produce, there's going to be more behind the scenes content, and that's going to make it into certain tiers on Patreon as well. I won't pitch all of it here because most of the info is on Patreon, and speaking of that, that is linked up down below, or it's probably close to my face right now, which means that the video is ending very soon. Okay, thanks so much for your attention. I can't wait to hear from you on episode 100. My name is Justin Khanna, and I hope you have a good one.